Yeah, my memory of Christmas. Um, my parents, my dad and mother, would always mention something about my behavior. Or Santa Claus will not come to see you. But Santa Claus is real to me. Santa Claus, when I was even when I was 8 years old, I still believed that there was a Santa Claus, a live Santa Claus. And this Santa Claus would travel from one home to the other, one home to the other. And even though my mother would even say, Santa Claus must have flew over our house, but he must have landed on the roof and climbed down the chimney, because I don't see any sleigh tracks where the reindeer has pulled the sleigh. I don't see any prints. So he must have just flew over and landed on top of the chimney, and then he crawled down the chimney and he left you a little candy. We didn't get a lot of candy. Maybe we got one orange, one apple maybe, and maybe a toy, maybe one little piece of toy is all we got for Christmas. And of course, our meal now was, most of the time was chicken. We had chicken and dumplings and fried chicken, and we had all the trimmings. And we didn't get cake too much during the season, so right at Christmas, we'd always have my mother would always have a big cake made for Christmas. And we didn't have the decorations that we have today, like the lights. We didn't have lights. We didn't have power in the house. We didn't have a lot of things that we have today. We didn't own an automobile. We didn't own. Wherever we had to go, we walked. If we had to go to the store, and if it was 10 miles or 2 miles or whatever it was, we walked to that store and we walked back and traded. And my mother and dad did always go in just about the day before Christmas to an old country store where we lived, and they'd buy up a whole lot for Christmas. But they wouldn't let me see what they bought, because they always had it planned that they would put whatever they bought into a stocking, and make me think that Santa Claus had been there, And one time I got a glimpse of a little pot, a little shiny boiler, I guess a little double boiler in a bag. And I saw that, and then the next morning that same little pot was right next to where I had my stocking hanging up. And my mother says, "Oh, he's brought me a little pot. I can cook something in that now." And I got thinking, well, I saw that pot in a bag. So anyway, I began to kind of understand just a little bit, but yet I didn't either. It took another year or two before I could understand. And my dad, of course, when I was 12 years old, I remember they bought a little red wagon. I always wanted a little red wagon, and they bought that and had it under a tree. A lot of times we didn't have a tree also too, because it was just all bare, just we didn't have any lights. So then in school, when we went to school, we had to go and stay in a boarding school. And when they'd let us go home for 2 weeks, one week for Christmas and 1 week for the New Year's, they always give us a little bag, a little brown bag, and they had a little handful of mixed nuts and an apple and an orange, maybe. Just a very slim that the school gave us. And it was just so, and we were so happy to get that. It was good. And then we'd go Christmas shopping. And they'd take us Christmas shopping, the school would. And they'd take us to a little town called Silva. And we'd go up, and the biggest piece of money I think any of us kids had would be a dime, 10 cents in our pockets to shop with. And we could buy just one little toy, one little a little car or a little boat with wheels, or just some little something. But yet we really thought that was something that was really good. And so Christmas back in those days was very slim. And in the boarding school on the campus also, we had the boys, the big boys would paint the light bulbs. The light bulbs were white, like these, but they'd take paint and paint those light bulbs green, blue, red, yellow, different colors. And then when the big boys would stand a long ladder up and climb that ladder to take the wire up and the plug-ins and hang the lights up in a big pine tree. There was a big pine tree on the side of the mountain over here. And they'd light that up. We stayed in school. We had dormitories that we lived in. But at night, they'd light those big bulbs up, all different colors. And when we'd come out and just look and look and look. And that was really something, to come about. And also in school, the teacher picked out 2 of us boys, and I was usually picked out to go. She'd say, you and you go to by the carpenter shop. We knew where the carpenter shop was, and get a handsaw, because I've already talked to the man that works in the shop, and he said, whoever you send, I'll let them have a handsaw, and you boys go out in the woods and you cut a tree. And that was our Christmas tree. And we had to cut our own tree. And while we were cutting the tree or getting ready to bring it in, the girls and what boys were left in the class, they'd make little chains out of crepe paper, colored paper, and they'd decorate that tree then with those little homemade chains, different colors too. It'd be blue, yellow, whatever, and that's how we decorated the tree. And somewhere along the way, maybe the teacher would find a little star and put it up in the center of the tree. Well, we didn't get too much back in those days. It was very, very slim. But we thought it was, we were used to all that, so it didn't bother us at all. Because we knew that what it was, what we would get. So that was pretty much Christmas.
Did they make a special meal for you at the boarding school?
Yeah,
Like a Christmas dinner?
yeah, we had. We didn't have a whole lot of. We didn't have a whole lot of big dinners, you know, and even in school. And like I was saying, they just give us a little bag, you know, with mixed nuts, apple, orange. So that was about it for Christmas, our Christmas.
Did the churches have a special service or anything?
Mm,
A special church service or anything?
yeah.
The churches, would the churches have a Christmas service?
Well, no, not as I know of, not as I can remember. We used to gather up in the auditorium. We had a big building, and down in the bottom part was a basketball court. And up the top side, the second story, it was auditorium. And we'd put on a play, little skits. We'd put on a play. And so we put on the Scrooge story one time, I remember. Scrooge, the stingy one. And so, but other than that, we didn't have any kind of big meeting or celebration going on like we would now. Mm. So, anyway, we were glad to get home.
Yes. Thank you, Jerry.
2 weeks.
2 weeks is what you'd come home for school for Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
They let you come home for Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Get